Hey, good morning. What's going on, everybody? Yes, we've got a good show today. Thursday slate, a couple days before we get to the weekend. Yesterday, not so good. Not so good. I mean, we went 4-1 on our bets over on tails, right? All the free plays over on tails. 4-1 on our straight bets. That actually put me in a spot where I had a profitable day. Nothing crazy, but none of the parlays we had hit. All of them, in fact, lost by one leg. A couple of them really close. That's the way it goes, though. You size your bets appropriately. You know, you're going heavier on singles, on straights, smaller unit size over on parlays, and that's what it is. By the way, I had a couple of you asking me, like, hey, what were the bets that we had yesterday? And you couldn't see them. I did this, right? So I moved myself to the top right. Maybe that's jarring. But now, if we're adding bets in, you're going to be able to see the whole bet slip. So that should make life a little bit easier for everybody. Anyway, glad to have you guys here. Appreciate you hanging out as always. And many of you have been doing this. I appreciate it. If you're watching over on X, right, where this originally started, hit that like. That little heart down there goes a long way. The algorithm's fickle with X. You seriously have no clue what's going to work. But I try and put out the best content for you as I can each and every day. Give you some sharp picks, right? We know these are plus EV bets. We know that these are long-term profitable propositions that we're getting into here. So I feel confident saying that you won't regret hitting that thumbs up if you're on YouTube or subscribing to the channel, or more importantly, over on X. Like I said, like this, retweet it, quote tweet it if you got something nice to say. Maybe even something mean to say. Feed it into the algorithm. Makes no difference to me. But I appreciate you guys in advance. Little housekeeping real quick here. Let me just get this over to tails. Make sure people are seeing it over there. It all helps. You know what I mean? Some people come from tails and they don't even know this exists. They saw me doing like NFL stuff earlier in the year, but they don't even know I exist on Twitter. So there we go. All right, post that baby up. Let's retweet this and we'll get down to business. All right. Let's make it happen. So anyway, glad to have you guys here. We got some boosts today. We got some parlays. We got the same thing we always do. And as I mentioned, if you're looking for the straight bets, I put out anywhere from like 5 to 10 of them for free over on tails each and every day. You can, of course, come and find me there. All of these, each and every day, you will find them. All right. And as I said yesterday, I believe 4-1 on these. Yeah, that Vooch didn't grade right, but that was a win. So 4-1 on these. The Ricochet one was the only one that lost, and I needed that for a parlay too. Absolutely needed that. But come hit me up over at Loughy at tails.bet if you want to do so. Otherwise, we'll get into the action here, get some bets in. First things first, over on Bet365, one of the softest books available to us. You know what we do, and you know how we like to take advantage of this. 30% same game parlay boost on any game today. You best believe we're going to bet that. I noticed a really significant market edge on some of these bets earlier in the day. If you guys use the prop tool, I assume many of you saw that as well. I don't know I know many of you do use this tool. You're probably seeing how far off from the rest of the market a lot of these bets are. They've actually moved them quicker than usual today, and I've noticed that. But I was able to get some of these in, and we're going to get some in right now. Anyway, appreciate you, Loughy. Have some DK bonus bets left from King. Nice. Okay. Yeah, let's go. 0 for yesterday, but today's a new day. Damn right. Look, if you think about it, if you bet like 3 parlays and we're betting everything at 6-7 to 1, in all likelihood, there's going to be a lot of days where we blank, right? The great thing is if you hit one of those 3 parlays, like not even every day, but one of those 3 parlays and you're sizing them correctly and you're hitting it at boosted 8-9 to 1, it can make the week, right? So this is the long game we play here, not the short game. We all know that. Will I am. Appreciate you hanging out, brother. Let's go. All right, so Bet365, we're gonna do everything we can to hammer them as often as we can. Let me go to, all right, so we're at 60-40 here. I think that makes sense. 60-40 blend for origination at 40, market projections at 60. For those of you wondering what that means, the market projection, we're taking a top-down approach, finding where they are inefficiently priced odds across these books. And then the origination approach is the bottom up. It's actually our projections, right? That we've used in DFS, that we now use in betting, and we're combining the two. That's the blend we're looking for. So with the sliders, you can essentially customize them to whatever you want. The softer books, especially earlier in the day, I like to go heavier on market projections because they're so far off from the rest of the market. So let's go. It's got to be a same game parlay. I see a couple popping here. I'm not sure how many great three-leg opportunities we're going to have, but the great thing is when it's boosted 30%, you could take something that's even marginally plus EV and make it a whole lot better. Tristan De Silva did us a solid the other day. We hit that three-legger with him in there. Royce O'Neal, rebounds plus assists under 8.5. So here's an interesting one. It's at plus 110. The market projection, so the true odds are at plus 102. And we haven't projected at 7.8. I'm always curious to see, too, when I go over to the portfolio EV tool, right, which is all market-based, to see if this stuff pops up. Like, yeah, see, there you go. Royce O'Neal, under 5.5 rebounds shows up as well. You can look to see what some of the other books have it at, too. You know, like, for example, some of these sharper books have it nowhere close to this at plus 110. Bet Online's at minus 115. FanDuel minus 112. So you're already getting significant value out of the gate. Bookmaker at minus 115, knowing that a lot of these sharp books are pricing it nowhere close to where Bet365 has it. See how we do things around here? It is different, understandably. And to some of you, it might be boring, but long-term wins to me are not boring at all. We should just go Royce O'Neal under 5.5 boards. Yeah, you know what? Let's go Royce O'Neal under 5.5 boards. See if we can find something from this same game. Let's see. Bean Fred under 8.5 plus 105 on there now for Royce. Yeah, it's still a good bet, right? It's still beating the true odds there by quite a bit. And a lot of those other books are nowhere close. So we'll take that. That's no problem. I'm not sure. So you got Jalen Green. God, every single day this Jalen Green spot pops up, does it not? Under 2.5 assists at even money. I mean, every single day it pops up. I will say the one spot that's been pretty good to us is this Sacramento team lately. That might be a game that we could target. Ultimately, though, we just want to find spots that put us with several of these up top as plus EV bets. We can always pull one that doesn't look great. It doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? All of them don't have to be great. But ideally, you'd like to grab something in the range that looks good. Like, you know what we could do here? Here's a fun one. This is what we're going to do, because Sacramento's been good to us lately. We're going to go Russell Westbrook over 3.5 rebounds. This is always an extremely fun sweat, by the way. Then we're going to go DeMar DeRozan under 6.5 rebounds plus assists. And then we need one more from this specific game. Depending on how wild we want to get, we go Precious Achiuwa over 1.5 assists. And this is going to put us, this will be a pretty significant boosted bet. And the great thing is, number one, you don't have to put a lot on it. Two, you're boosting it by 30%. So your break-even point becomes a whole lot lower. And of course, your payout becomes a whole lot better. So I'm going to put this together for you guys right now. And of course, if you're using the prop tool, you just click place through these bets and it'll load them straight into your bet slip. So we're going Russell Westbrook over 3.5 rebounds, right? Westbrook over 3.5 rebounds. And again, this is against the Pelicans too. So I like to see that matchup, no doubt about it. That's at even money. Then we're going over to the combos. We're going under 6.5 rebounds plus assists for DeMar DeRozan. All right, sounds good. And that's at minus, matter of fact, that's at minus 112 now over on Bet365. And then here's the tough one. right? This is a tough one. Precious Achua at plus 135, right? Over 1.5 assists. Woo! All right. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what this gets us to, as a matter of fact. It's going to be pretty significant. Yeah, I mean, that's plus 725 before the boost. Plus 725 before the boost, which means that we're getting this to plus 943. Yeah. Okay. Look, it's a $20 bet to win 208. That's the limit I have over on Bet365 for these boosts. But aside from that, because we had some pretty significant NFL times with these same game parlay boosts on Monday and Thursday night. There you go. See what I'm saying? That's a good one right there. Of course, pop in, use these tools to place your own same game parlays. The great thing about these is, one, the books aren't really going to identify any sharp bets, and you're betting a decent amount of unders as well, which is just going to lead to, you being around for a whole lot longer, which is good. So we've got that one locked in. I don't think Bet365 has any other bets or opportunities out there. Maybe a boosted, there is a boosted NHL parlay. We do have NHL in the prop tool. I admittedly fly blind with this and just lean on the tools that we have at our disposal. I won't bet this now, but I will say this much. I will bet this today because it's, in the long run, it's free money, right? Long term, bets like these, if sized properly, are going to be free money. Let's go back to the NBA, though. See what we've got on DraftKings and FanDuel. DraftKings typically gives us some garbage, like four legs, same game parlay X. Okay, we've got ourselves a mystery boost today. I'm going to tell you what mine's going to be. It's going to be either a 30% same game parlay or same game parlay X with 4 legs or more, or it's probably going to be just like a 20% all-purpose boost. I never get anything better than that. Hopefully I do. Unlikely to be the case. Oh, look at that. 30% same game parlay boost. Who would have thought? Every time, man, minimum 4 legs. Who would have thought? Every time with these people. Every single time. That's what they do. Oh, and you know what else they've been doing lately? They didn't always do this, I don't believe. You guys can tell me. Maybe I'm misremembering. But if you look at the minimum odds now on DraftKings for these same game parlays, the minimum odds are 3-1. The minimum odds are plus 300. I don't remember it being like that in the past, right? So they limit how much you can bet on it. They give you the boost, the mystery boost. It's a bullshit way of saying, here, we'll take more of your money. And then they limit you. Not only that, but the fact is now it's plus 300. I swear it was the odds didn't have to be that long before. I swear. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but I'm pretty certain that it was not like that in the past. Anyway, we're going to keep doing what we always do and see if we got one on FanDuel. We'll come back to this DraftKings one. FanDuel usually gives us something a little bit better, right? Let's see. All right, so this is better. 25% profit boost. You can get 2 of those, or a 50% same game parlay boost. Here's what we're going to do. Because we have the bets right in front of us, before I even accept this, why don't we just go in and see which of these makes the most sense? Now with FanDuel, I want to skew this blend heavier towards our projections, because FanDuel, as I mention every day, is one of the sharper books as far as their odds go, as far as rec books, I should say, go, right? Let's see. Do we have spots where we actually do. We actually do. Look at this Washington-Utah game. That may just be it. Right? That may be it. I think that's probably the answer here, is we just do exactly that. Yeah. All right. Champagne. I'll never get the pronunciation of that name right. I so badly want to call him Champagne. But we're loading him up over. Look, this is actually, man. All right, we're going 50% boost. Over 5.5 rebounds. We've got him right now projected at 7.5. The Trae Young spot, we'll come back to that. I don't know if I want to bet that yet. Trey Johnson over 3. Oh, God. These, I don't know. Over 3.5 rebounds at plus 255. Ugh. Coulibaly. Okay, here you go. Over 3.5 rebounds. Coulibaly over 3.5 rebounds. So that's 2 right there, both of which we have projected much higher than their number right now. I like that. And then, all right, here we go. Man, all overs today. So if you guys have noticed, we are clearly projecting this Washington team higher than the odds that are being offered over on FanDuel. Champagny over 5.5 rebounds. Coulibaly over 3.5 rebounds. This will be fun, man. When's the last time we bet an all overs same game parlay? This will be good stuff. All right, so I'm taking the 50% parlay, and then we're just going to go ahead and load this one up. I kind of like it. It is really interesting right now, though, seeing how much higher we're projecting Washington in a lot of these spots, which is okay. You know, there's going to be times where they don't really line up with the market odds, and you might not get a lot of closing line value. Maybe you will later in the day. But if the projections are right, that's really all we care about. I'll give you guys one more pointer, too. If you're coming in and you're betting these over spots, right? The books are always going to list the alt overs first, the one-way overs, and then they're going to give you the two-way over and under on these props. So take rebounds, for example. You will find discrepancies in odds on the exact same bet for the exact same sports book, right? The exact same book. So check this out. Hold on a second, Alex. The boost gimmick has to go down in history as the best house advantage. Well, no. Think of it this way, right? Yes, it's the best house advantage because 95% or more of the people who are betting these boosts are going to be unprofitable with them. If you bet them the right way, if you're using tools to bet these and you're overcoming the correlation tax that they apply on these same game parlays, right? So like with this same game parlay, if these were all independent bets, the odds, and you can see it on the screen here, right? The odds would be plus 453 if these were independent odds placed into a parlay, right? Independent odds placed into a parlay, that would be completely independent of each other. If you were to bet this over on FanDuel as a same game parlay, what's going to happen is they're going to be different, right? Because of the correlation. You guys already know. I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. But if they're all plus EV legs individually, and then you take the 50% boost, that technically is going to be profitable for you long-term, as long as you're placing the right bets. So yeah. Pete, this is what I'm saying. You say Champagne is minus 154 for the rebounds now. That's in the two-way market. It did move, but if you look at the one-way market, he is minus 150. That may seem negligible, but over time you'll take that value any day of the week. Okay. Coulibaly, again, minus 136 for the two-way line, minus 132 for the one-way alt market. Oddly, they're giving you better odds there. We're going to take it. And then Trae Young on points. What did we have? Over 13.5 points. So to answer that, yes, they're great for the books, but they can be great for us too. And that's the difference. I wouldn't do this otherwise. I wouldn't waste your time. So that gets us to plus 418. That's not bad. That's without the boost, plus 418. Now with the boost, we're at plus 627. So consider this. At plus 418, right? you would need to win this bet. Let's say we just bet this over and over again. Need to win it 19% of the time, 19.3% of the time just to break even. But at 627, now you only have to win this bet, let's say 13.7% of the time to break even. See what I mean? Long term, that's going to be very good for us. All right, so just got that one in. I'm okay taking a bit of a haircut on those odds on the rebounds that move to 152. That's all right. Oklahoma, I think the boost gets you addicted to filling out worse odds parlays. Well, two things. One, I think you're going to get a lot of people that use these boosts and they just boost it, like they go all overs, right? Which in most cases, especially if they're not originating projections or they're not using like a top-down approach, what they're doing is they're just going with all overs because it feels right. And in all likelihood, they're getting pretty terrible odds out of the gate. And sometimes the boost doesn't even make up for the negative EV. That's definitely something that happens. But also, they'll just run like so many legs that even if like 6-leg parlays plus EV parlays over time would technically be profitable, but it could take you so long to actually realize that profit, because even though they win more often than the odds that are given to you, it's still like, oh, wow, this bet wins 4% of the time, and the books are offering it to us at, 2%. It's still only 4% of the time, right? So yeah, it's an edge. It's plus EV, but you got to have some big ass nuts to be able to do that and just keep going, or a big ass bankroll as well. Once the boosts are gone, you still want to make yeah. I build a lot of parlays without the boosts, especially every day, because my limits, and probably some of your guys too, the limits on these boosts are low. But I like doing this show for this purpose to kind of provide not just like an educational perspective, but for us to be able to take advantage of these no matter what the limits are. I think that's important. I do. Alex, thanks, man. I was like a minute behind the live stream because I was setting up the leg, but yeah, for sure, man. I'm happy to do that. Pizza, will you post the links in chat? I have them. I have the it right up here. I'm going to post them over to Tails, and you can one-click tail those. That's one thing you like. If you go to tails.bet, guys, it's free. You just create a free account. So I'm not like trying to sell you anything here. I'm just showing you that over on tails.bet, follow me at Loughy. The link's in the description of this video on YouTube, or it's over on X. It's in my bio. But like, if you just let's go with Ben's bet for today. My boy Ben. If you wanted to tail this, you just click tail, and then it gives you all of the best odds on this parlay across all of the different sports books. And then you hit tail and it loads it straight into your bet slip. So, I mean, that's the simplicity of all of this. It makes life so much easier. And of course, if you guys want to use the prop tool, here's where I will sell you something, but I'll do it with zero shame, because this tool's been amazing. I would never try and talk to you about something that I think is garbage. If you want to use the prop tool, use code Loughy15, get 15% off any weekly or monthly sub. That's for NBA or all access, weekly or monthly, doesn't matter. I feel good about talking about this because I know I use the tool. I would never talk about something where I'm just like, oh yeah, go try this out. I don't use it, but you should use it. I would never do that. And if you go to my picket, you'll see that all the bets I talk about here are on there. All the bets from the prop tool are on there. And I absolutely love this tool. And it's really changed the way I bet NBA, because I come straight out of NFL season. And, I'm kind of blindsided by this. I'm 24/7 NFL from August or July all the way through February, early February. And then NBA hits. And I'm like, well, I got to keep betting. So the prop tool has been huge for me. Use Loughy15 at Stokastic.com. The link, again, is in the description here over on YouTube, or just if you're on X, go to Stokastic.com. And if you ever have questions, hit me up. You guys know where to find me. All right, so we got FanDuel in. All right, so we got FanDuel, and let's do. Hold on, wait. Are you saying, do I ever do alt line bets? And Oklahoma, thanks for all you do. Thanks, man. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for hanging out. I love doing this stuff. And pizza, yeah, Tails does work. It's awesome. So, yeah, Pete, unfortunately, Bet365 doesn't have deep linking, but, that's the price you pay for a really soft book. You just go in there. They don't move the odds quick enough anyway, so we're fine. We could see if we have anything on DraftKings. And we could also see if there's any sharp money out there that can point us in the right direction. Oftentimes there is, right? Like, check this out. I'll go to the ARB tool. And sometimes you can find like significant liquidity on certain spots, which can point you in the right direction. Kind of a signal here like, oh, there's $3,000 on this one niche rebounds and assist prop. Maybe I should take heed. I don't see anything right now, but I monitor this every day. Not even, by the way, not even to bet the ARBs, not even to arbitrage it, but to bet just one single side of it. It makes life way easier. I try and use as many different ways to find bets as possible each day. Like, here's another spot we can see if there's any top-down bets. Jalen Suggs under 3s on Bet365. Anthony Black under 7.5 rebounds and assists. LeBron James under 3s. All of those look very good compared to where the books are at. And then what I can do for you guys too, let's just see what the best bets on the board are right now. Are there any books that you guys want to look at, by the way? I can pull them up for you. I know I typically do only a few different books because those are the ones that I'm typically using. But if there's any books that you guys want to look at, let me know in the chat right now, and I can pull up the best bets for any of those books. Happy to do it. A DraftKings bet would be great. I use the majority of time. I'm just getting into it. You know what we should do? Why don't we go DraftKings, but instead of going with the boost, where we have to get 4 legs for the same game parlay or SGPX, let's just build a good parlay out. Why don't we do that? I want to go 50-50 market-based and origination here. And let's just see what pops up. If there's any good bets out there that stand out to us. I mean, the Draymond Green right here looks good. Austin Reeves under rebounds and assists. Do we want to go standard 3-legger here? We could. Oklahoma, wish they would allow real round robins and not same game round. What do you mean? DraftKings, you can round robin anything. All right. We already got that Washington bet in. We could go. Do we go back to the well with De Silva? Some questionable players there. Yeah, let's go standard 3-legger. Seems like chat is in agreement on this one over on YouTube. So let's do it. Well, that's the thing, dude. Yeah, with the same game, if you're round robining in the same game, you got to be careful with that. You want different games. Any bets on the board here that you guys specifically want? I can zoom in too. Any bets that you're looking at that you think look good in a spot like this? The Suggs one, we got Austin Reeves against Denver under 7.5 rebounds plus assists. There's a couple out there too that if the market odds align with our projections, I'm just going to be a whole lot more inclined to bet them. Whenever you get two things that converge, that's real helpful to us. Like this Iguodala one. We have him at 7.5 rebounds. It's under 8.5. The odds are minus 136 and the market projections minus 140. So let's just add that one in there. I think that looks pretty good. Also, one thing I want to do. Oh, cool. We just updated projections 5 minutes ago too. So these are very fresh. I think we should go Champagne again. I'm going to do that, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm willing to get additional exposure to certain players if we're projecting them much higher than the odds are on these books. I'm willing to do that. I would much rather get additional parlay exposure on smaller bets to these guys. Kind of thing like for you, those of you DFS players out there, sometimes I actually look at it like a GPP, right? Where there's someone you really like, you want to get above the field, you want to get exposure to them. Well, think about it. You can do that with parlays as well. If you have, 10 parlays out there, and I'm not talking about these pick sellers throwing out 47 all over 5-6 leg parlays every night and then hitting one and being like, look what we did. I'm saying if you have 10 like 2 or 3 leg parlays plus EV parlays, it's not crazy to go, all right, this projects really well for us in the tool today. I'll get him in more than one of them, right? Because then you give yourself a few extra outs. Of course, if that loses, it sucks. But if that wins and you've got it in like 3 of 10 parlays, then now you're putting yourself in a position where those other legs within the parlay, if they're all 2-leg parlays, you could be in really good shape. However, it's risky too, because if it loses, then you're just killing 3 of them out of the gate. But those are the risks we have to take. So let's throw Champagne in there and then one more, right? We need one more here because I think we should go 3 legs. That's at least like we're not going overboard. What do we got? Let's go. And of course, we want all different games. We could just go Draymond Green under on assists. We could go Austin Reeves. We could go, because the 2 of the bets that we have in here right now, I like quite a bit. LeBron under assists. Again, we want spots where the market aligns with our originated projections. We want both of them. When we can get both of them, that's when we put ourselves in really, really good spots, right? I think I've drilled that into everyone's head enough by now. And you're like, hey, shut the fuck up. We heard you. And I get that. But otherwise, what are we doing here? Let's go LeBron under 6.5 assists. All right. Let's go LeBron James under 6.5 assists. Now, we're not going to boost this unless you guys have some boosts. Like, did you get mystery boosts that weren't same game parlays? Any of you, let me know, because if so, that'll be nice. In this case, that is not what I've got here. I'm going with a 50-50 market-based origination blend. Good. We're going straight on DraftKings for a 3-leg parlay. And that 3-leg parlay is going to be Iguodaro, Champagne, and LeBron James. The bets are right there on the right side of the screen. I even, based on your guys' recommendations, I even adjusted my camera, put it up top so that we could see all of that in one neat and tidy spot right there. So I think this is probably what we end up doing. And let's plug it in, man. What's the other one I needed? Iguodaro. Why is that not popping for me on my phone? Because I can't bet from my computer because my internet is so dumb and it blocks it no matter what I do. I can't find it. All right, I'll find that one after the fact. Unless they moved it. But yeah, that looks good to me right there. Those 3 get it to plus 448. Is that right? DJ Moore traded to the Bills? Damn. Nardi, how do you determine whether a bet is good or not? I'll tell you, look, a couple of ways. The market will dictate a lot of that. If you're coming in here and you're kind of like newer to betting or from a casual perspective, all good. But the market will dictate a lot of that. If you find a bet that is minus 130 in one spot and all of these other books that we know confirmed to be objectively sharp, they're all at like minus 160, minus 170, then you know that that's a pretty good bet. But if you combine that with projections, good projections, and how do I know the projections on the prop tool are good? Because on the DFS side, our guys have won millions and millions and millions of dollars. Like we had 4 milli winners just for NFL this season, using the sims, using the projections. Combine the two, I'm very confident that we're getting good bets. Are there going to be times where things break against us and maybe we're projecting a guy in when he ends up being out and the prop ends up being going the opposite direction? Sure. But all in all, this is the way to do it. And again, last time I'll mention it, but you'll thank me for it one day. Loughy 15 for 15% off any prop tool subscription. Link down below. Or, of course, just go to Stokastic.com if you're watching on X. Just make sure to use the code. Otherwise, you can't get it. But, okay, so they moved that to 7.5. See, they wouldn't be moving this stuff if we weren't on to them. So we got to remove the Iguodala one. That sucks. Let's go then. Let's throw the, can we do that? The Jalen Suggs one in? Under 5.5 assists at plus 110. Can we do that? Let's do that. Let's throw the Jalen Suggs one in. We'll replace that. That gets us to plus 564. Yeah, plus 564 without a boost. I'm going to place these straight from my phone here. Through the prop tool, but from my phone. Yeah, that sucks. They moved it to 7.5. But that's what happens. You got to be early sometimes. You got to be quick. Still, plus 563. Solid enough bet. Straight from the tools. We'll take that one to the bank all day long. That's crazy. DJ Moore. I know it's not a football show, but, you know, their GM looked like a real asshole, Brandon Beane, when he went on and talked to the media and talked to these radio guys and was like totally, you know, just shitting on them up and down when they asked a very simple question of whether or not they have enough weapons on offense, right? I mean, and he's like, well, we had the highest scoring offense last year and this and that. And then this year you look at it and you go, Josh Allen's a one-man show along with James Cook. That's it. That's all they had. Keon Coleman was a bust. Who else were they running out there? Like Curtis Samuel when he was healthy and all of these other guys that would be cast-offs on any other team. Dalton Kincaid's infrequently healthy. They didn't have Brandon Cooks they brought in, and he was the one that was having big games at the end of the year. So I think the DJ Moore move is actually pretty smart. I kind of love it, as a matter of fact. I kind of love that spot. DJ Moore going and hooking up with Josh Allen. That should be nice. All right, so one more. Let's do one more run on the board to see what we've got working out. I'll go FanDuel. I'll go DraftKings. You know what? For those of you guys in the Floridas and the Jerseys, let's go Hard Rock too. Hard Rock is so soft, man. Incredibly soft. Will Hard Rock pop up for me now that I move that? There we go. All right, let's go Hard Rock and see what we've got here. Yeah, look, see? Hard Rock is a crazy soft book. I, unfortunately, in PA can't bet on it. But if you have access to Hard Rock, make sure you're placing 2-3 leg parlays. Keep those accounts healthy. Anything else that popped up that we don't have yet worth taking a look at? Russell Westbrook under 15.5 points. Looks good, really good on Bet365. Really good. Luke Kennard over 2.5 boards on Hard Rock. What else do we got going? Here, let's do this real quick. 65-35 market projection. Exactly, no cap. Like Kincaid, I really thought Kincaid was going to have an awesome season, and he was okay, but I thought he would have to be the guy. And it just turned out that really nobody was the guy. It was the Allen and Cook show. That's it. All right, here you go. Final run on this board. I'll zoom in for you guys as well. This is what we've got going on. Feel free to plug whatever of these in. Use Loughy 15 if you just want to bet them yourself. If you want to come in, adjust some of the rates here. If you know ball, you will get a totally different EV calculation as well when you adjust those rates. That's a really good thing to do and a good thing to have. Will Riley under threes. Look how many Hard Rock bets are popping. If you could keep Hard Rock and Bet365 accounts healthy for like one full season in the NBA, you're talking at least like 20 grand. I mean, these are really the type of books that you're just going to print with. Look at this Rudy Gobert prop on Bet365. Rudy Gobert under 12.5 boards. This will be the last parlay I pop in. It's not going to be a same game parlay because it's not going to be boosted. but I'm going Rudy Gobert under 12.5 rebounds against Toronto. And then I'm going to go Russell Westbrook under 15.5 points. Rudy Gobert under 12.5 rebounds on Bet365 and Russell Westbrook under 15.5 points. That's going to be our last one for today, but I like that quite a bit. Add both of these in, see what we got. Going to get that to a nice little plus 240 parlay, and that'll be good. Notice here, like all of these other books, look at Hard Rock, under 11.5 minus 135. Do you guys see this? Bet365 is under 12.5 minus 135. Hard Rock is under 11.5 minus 135. It's the same odds on a totally different line. That is crazy. Crazy. Pete, Kennard over 8.5 points at minus 105. How's that looking in the tools? I can take a look for you if you would like. Let's see. Luke Kennard. Let's see. It looks like the under has a slight positive edge here on 8.5 points. Yeah, it looks like the over. Let's see. What did you say the odds were on Bet365? Minus, would you say? Minus 105. You actually have shorter odds on FanDuel at minus 102. See, minus 102. Yeah, it's probably not something that I like. If you like it, though, if you're projecting him and you like him more than that, go for it. We have the true odds at plus 109, so it doesn't look all that great. Anyway, appreciate you guys hanging out. This is a fun one today. I'm glad we're doing some of this on YouTube as well now, too, so we can get a little bit more comment action going. It's a lot of fun when we can do that, for sure. No Cap Magic. Any good lines for the Pels on Bet365? Need a third leg for a boost? All right, since you asked. I'm telling you, man. Just grab the tools. Or come hit me up on Tails as well, whatever it may be. So what were you looking at? The Pels you wanted? But I'll always come in and give out free bets and free parlays and stuff. That's what we do here. For the Pels, Herbert Jones assists. Under 3.5 assists. That looks good. Trying to see what the best one is. That looks like the best one. Yeah, from an EV perspective, Herb Jones under on assists. You said you needed someone from the Pels, right? So under on assist right there. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of the day. I will be back here tomorrow to close out the week. And Saturday and Sunday, I won't have a show, but I always post bets on Tails. So you can come catch them. I'll drop them at like, I don't know, 1 o'clock or something in the afternoon. And we'll see you guys back here for the next one. Bye-bye.